All right, what'd you come up with for 300 degrees and 7 pi over 3? You notice I gave you a mix of degrees and radians, and that's fine. They're still angles. Do they end in the same place? No, because let's face it, 300's in which quadrant? 4, and 7 pi over 3 is not even in the same quadrant. It's in quadrant 1, so those have no shot. Now, here's negative, again, kind of the first time we talked about that. So negative 120, that ends up which quadrant? Where'd that end up? Here's negative 90. Is that negative 120? Is it? Yeah. Is that also negative 2 pi over 3 then is the question? It's not? Okay. Because here's basically negative 1 pi over 3 is right there. Negative 2 pi over 3 is right there. Are they ending in the same place? Yes, they are. So this one's yes, that one's no. So you realize I could give it to you in a lot of different ways, and for those of you that just came in, negative basically means to go around the circle the other way. And you basically end up the same distances away. And that's why I put the unit circle as being so important, so you can see how those divisions actually work out. So now I'm asking you, instead of asking you if they are coterminal, I'm saying give me 2 of them that would be coterminal. And I want one of them to be positive and one of them to be negative. Basically, I just want to see if you can work with that. And basically, if I give it to you in radians, I want the answer in radians. And if I give it to you in degrees, I want the answer in degrees. So pi over 6, I obviously gave it to you in which form? Radians. And so you better give me the answer in radians. And so what I normally do is I find, okay, pi over 6 pretty much right there, right? And so what I would say is, why don't we just find another positive? And the easiest way to do that is to just go all the way around the circle and come back to it. Agreed? So basically what we're going to do is just take pi over 6 and just add 2 pi to it, right? Because 2 pi would be going all the way around the circle, right? And so to add 2 pi, though, well, I can't do it like that because you need a common denominator if you want to add things together like that. And my denominator is probably going to be 6. So how am I going to write this? I need a 6 on the bottom. What's really on the bottom right now is a 1, right? And so basically you got to multiply by 6 over 6, right, to make it, so it'd be 12 pi. Do you see where I got 12 pi? So 12 pi over 6, is that really just saying 2 pi? Just a different way of saying it, right? And so now you add the top, you get 13 pi over 6. Very good. I was going to see if anybody would say 12 there. And let's face it, isn't this really saying 2 1/6 pi? So 2's all the way around, go another 6th. Would I be ending in the same spot? Yeah. And so how are we going to, okay, so let's see where we started. Well, if we started right here to go the other way, the easiest way to do that is to go this way, which means you would be subtracting 2 pi. So you basically end up doing the same thing, except put a minus in there. And so that ends up being negative 11 pi over 6. And do you agree that if I started here, would this be going less than 1 time around? So negative 11 pi over 6, it's a little less than 1 time around, so that does make sense. So basically adding and subtracting is one way of doing that. Okay. Now obviously that's if I give you radians. If I give you degrees, say 225, which is over here, basically, can you add 2 pi this time? Would that be a smart move? No, I gave it to you in degrees. So what's the equivalent of 2 pi in degrees? 360. So if I started you there, why not just go ahead and add 360? Again, that'd be going this way. Would that give you a positive answer? Yeah. So you add 360 to that, and what do you get? 585. Is that another positive? Is that a positive answer that ends in the same spot? Is that the only positive answer that's going to end in the same spot? Are there a lot of positive answers that will end in the exact same spot? Yeah. I normally just give you the easiest ones to get to. You could sit there all day. Yeah, you could sit there and keep going right around that circle as many times as you wanted to. But now what you're going to do, and this is sometimes the harder one for people, is you have to subtract 360 from that. Negative 135. Is that the only negative answer you could get? No, you could just keep going around the circle the other way. And you just keep getting more and more answers. I just want one of each. Any questions? Well, C and D are for you to try right now, Ben. All right, let's take a look at 500 degrees. You may notice I gave you a slightly different one than the ones we did together. To get a positive answer, could you add 360? Would that give you another positive answer? Sure, so would 860 be a possibility? Sure. If you were thinking ahead, though, what you may have done is just subtracted 360 because that will also give you a positive answer. And the reason I said think ahead, because then you can subtract 360 again to get your negative answer. It would work you that way. But is there anything wrong with saying 860 degrees for that answer? No, there's nothing wrong with it. But if you subtract 360, you get, what, 140? So 140 degrees would be a possible, and then you could just subtract 360 again, and you get negative 220. Right, and then subtract 360 again. Because I need a positive answer and a negative answer. Okay, I said 860 was a possible positive answer. So I said, why not just subtract 360 and get 140? Is that another possible positive answer? Yes. Do I up there right now have a positive answer and a negative answer? So have I answered the question? Yes. Okay. Now again, for negative 9 pi over 4, well, that's more than 2 pi, isn't it? So what I would do is just add 2 pi to that. But again, adding 2 pi, well, that's not going to work out too well. So let's add, well, we need 4 on the bottom, so yeah, 8 pi. If you take negative 9 pi over 4 and add 8 pi over 4, you get negative 1 pi over 4 or negative pi over 4. So did I get a negative answer? Yeah, is that the only negative answer you could have had? No, there's a ton of them. And basically, if you just subtracted 2 pi from that one, you would have gotten the other one. So what, negative 17 pi over 4 is another negative you could have gotten, all right? But I knew I was going to need that answer anyway, so that's why I just went ahead and I said, well, might as well go that way. And then what I'm going to do then is basically add 2 pi again, which is in the form of 8 pi over 4. So that's one of your answers. But when I add that, you get 7 pi over 4. And again, if you're ever unsure, you could always go to that unit circle and see, do they end up in the same spot? Okay, check, yeah, negative pi over 4, where is that? Okay, 7 pi over 4, where is that? And see if it kind of ends up the same spot. If you have any questions about, especially the word terminal, I guess would be the one that was important today, where they end. They can be negative, they can be positive, they can be over 360, all of those things. Okay?